Ladies and gentlemen, you finally have an attorney general who not only defends the President of the United States of America, which is what Attorney General Loretta Lynch and Attorney General Eric Holder did with President Obama. You have an Attorney General who is protecting the rule of law. You simply can't have investigations because, well, I don't know, there's suspicion. That's it, just suspicion. The guy is a bad guy. If that's the case, then we need a special counsel for, I don't know, cash flow to Clinton Foundation amid Russian uranium deal. Actually, one of my amazing subscribers told me this in I don't usually read the comments. I mean, I read the comments every day, but I don't usually read a comment. Every segment I read comments, but I'm saying I don't usually read comments of a prior segment during a segment, but let's see. Oh, Lord. Let's see. Okay, so right here, Jeff, you made a great point. You are asking the wrong question about Uranium One. The real question is, why didn't FBI Director Mueller not nix the sale because they had an informant reporting on the corruption? Absolutely. There was there was a bribery and racketeering scandal while it was going on. We know that a trucking company executive was indicted. And we know from the New York Times that yellowcake uranium was shipped out of the country as it was going down. That's in the article titled verbatim, Cash Flow to Clinton Foundation Amid Russian Uranium Deal. You think that, and then we have William D. Campbell, who was one of the FBI informants, or the FBI informant, perhaps Jeff, thank you very much for that message. That's the truth. Why didn't President Obama why didn't Mueller inform President Obama that there was an elaborate scheme on U.S. soil by a hostile foreign nation? And then we have Bill Clinton meeting with Putin. So we can go on forever. The point is, if it's just suspicion, there's enough suspicion for a special counsel there. You cannot demand, if you're Congress, that we need Trump's taxes. Why? We don't know exactly why, but he did a lot of bad things. When? Well, he inflated his income. Then sue Deutsche Bank. Deutsche Bank had no problem with it, and they didn't inform anyone that there was an issue. And he's been on the Forbes 100 or 400 list since it started in '82 with his father. So pick a specific real estate deal or a specific business endeavor and then say he committed a crime here. Don't just say, well, how do you know he inflated his income? Well, because, the bank said this or the New York Times said this. Yeah, but he has a vast, sprawling real estate empire. Real estate's a leveraged business. So if he says, hey, you know what, my real estate is worth this, and they say, well, and banks do that all the time. This isn't like Michael Cohen, saying, oh, well, my taxi medallion is gone, Uber's destroyed everything, and now I'm $22 million in debt, and I'll just pretend and blatantly lie on loan applications. Completely different. Anyway, I can debate that with anyone. If they cared about the emoluments clause regarding, it's like AOC's asked, I think emoluments is the biggest clause. Well, what about the Clinton Foundation? And UBS and Boeing and weapons deals. That's okay. That's okay. Money flowing in, but that's a whole other story. Look, the bottom line is this. Let me get to it 4 minutes in. William Barr is fighting back. DOJ threatens executive privilege over Mueller report if Dems carry out contempt. Barr to Trump, invoke executive privilege over redacted Mueller materials. Barr says Trump may cite executive privilege on Mueller report. I apologize, it's taking me 4 minutes, but I have to give some context. So you could just let people know 4 minutes in. 4 minutes in. President Trump did not invoke executive privilege. They're like, well, you know what? They fabricated this entire controversy. He would have spoke to the House Judiciary. They didn't want that. They wanted him to speak to their lawyers also. He doesn't have to speak to the lawyers. For what purpose? Well, he has something to hide. No, actually, it's Clinton who had something to hide. She deleted 33,000 plus emails and destroyed hardware wiped servers clean and used private servers outside the United States government. Yeah, I think that's you have the other way around. But why isn't he talking to our lawyers? Because you're just trying to torment him. You're just trying to make things difficult. You know very well he doesn't have to. That's not a Department of Justice regulation where he has to. And it hasn't been done in decades. There was no collusion at all. They spent 2 years fabricating a bunch of nonsense. Now they're saying, well, he's not showing up. It's like, no, he's more than happy to show up and speak to the Senate, because the Senate didn't pull that nonsense. The Senate was like, look, Kamala Harris was like, have you asked anyone, did the White House ever ask you to investigate anyone? And first of all, it wouldn't be a problem even if the White House did. If Trump says, hey, Clinton committed crimes, please investigate, that's not against the law. It's not against the law. I love how Democrats convinced themselves that President Obama had nothing to do with the Steele dossier. Nothing to do with CrowdStrike, nothing to do with anything. He didn't know anything. Why? Because Susan Rice said in a note, President Obama wants everything above board and wants everything done legally. Now, well, if she said it in a note, then it happened. He had no idea that Hillary Clinton used a private server. He had no idea that Attorney General Loretta Lynch was going to meet with Bill Clinton. Nothing was totally removed. Meanwhile, Trump is spooning with Putin because, oh my God, something happened with Manafort 10 years ago with an ostrich feather jacket, and now Putin and Trump are going to elope, and that's it. The direct line of logical reasoning. They're not going to get what they want because it's going to go to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court's going to laugh. Where's the probable cause? The Supreme Court is going to say, number one, Jerry Nadler and the House Judiciary, number one, he's willing to testify. William Barr never said, I'm not testifying to the House. William Barr said, I'm not going to speak to your, imbeciles who are, these lawyers, committee counsel, for what purpose? He didn't commit any crimes. Now we know Trump didn't commit any crimes. They're trying to get him on obstruction of justice because they're hiding behind the unlawful, unethical, and illegal, which is essentially what it is, illegal investigation, an investigation founded upon or fueled by the Steele dossier that was purchased by Hillary Clinton and CrowdStrike assessment that was outsourced by Democrats. And then you have MSNBC and Chris Hayes say, well, they're colluding in plain sight. He didn't tell Putin not to hack into the election in 2020. Oh, I'm sorry. Are we going to find more evidence of criminal corruption in the DNC? Are you foreshadowing that? Are you foreshadowing that, liberal pundits? Are you going to then, something's going to happen. You see Bill Clinton, making love to like a farm animal or something. And then, oh my God, it's the Russians who want you to see this. It's like, well, I'm looking at it in my phone. That's Bubba Bill. And it's happening. No, the Russians took that. And you know what? Even if it happened, the Russians wanted you to know. God, it's so ridiculous. It's so absurd. Is that Bill Clinton? Don't look. It's Russian propaganda, and you shouldn't look at it. But it happened, right? Well, yes. Bill has a soft spot for, I don't know, pick the farm animal, whatever. Oh, no. The Russians informed us again of the Democratic Party's corruption. You Russians will stop at nothing. Meanwhile, the Washington Post is like, we're gonna get Trump's taxes. Anything for Trump. Anything. Hot mic. Look. Timing every release, everything timed. And they're like, the DNC emails were timed. Each of the incriminating emails were timed. Oh. Yeah, what do you think the Access Hollywood tape was? Just by accident? Hey, this is bizarre. Happened right before a debate. Gosh. You think they timed anything? Nothing's ever timed. There's no amount of dirt associated with Trump that they wouldn't expose. But if it's Madam Secretary, who's running, by the way? She's running and she's back. And everyone who's like, I don't really like Clinton, I just think Tulsi. This is like on the left. They're like, I just think Tulsi Gabbard is not a progressive enough. Who are you voting for? Clinton. Okay. Did you see that? You see the irony in that, or the hypocrisy? No. Whew. Right over their heads. They won't get it. I cannot wait. It'll be euphoria when Clinton runs. God bless her. She needs to run. She needs to run and put her name in the history book alongside, Attila the Hun and Al Capone and everyone else. Please, run. Run for president again. And I'm saying 2024 also. Don't just stop after you lose in 2020. Okay? That's a defeatist mentality. Keep going and going and going. 2024, 2028. Why not? Really, when you think about it, she'll lose again in 2020, but who's going to beat, who's the Republican in 2024? It's going to be Kasich, we need to bring the country back to morals. Interventionist foreign policy with Bush and Obama. That's right, President Obama, the Nobel Prize winner who destroyed the country of Libya along with Madam Cyberhack and the mad sniffer Joe Biden. Oh, yes. Artichoke Supreme for split ends. Herbal Essence Artichoke Supreme with boysenberry and a hint of lavender. I have that shampoo. That's what I use. Botox Biden. Yeah, they're really going to go with him. That's the final plan for the Democrats. Right. He's going to invoke executive privilege. The president has not even utilized executive privilege, which means, sorry, Congress, you're not allowed to see this for reasons of national security or grand jury information. There are things that are redacted. 99% of the report is out in the open. It's written by the team, okay? The Mueller team could have indicted Trump. They did not. They could have charged the president or anyone around him. And don't say, well, if he wasn't president, they would have indicted him. Why did they investigate in the first place? Can someone ask that question? Why for 2 years were they going to investigate if they just were going to end up with a report that didn't charge anyone with the crimes that they were saying took place? Anybody have any thoughts on that? If it's standard DOJ policy, which it's only 2 memos, one from Watergate and one from the Bush administration. If it's standard policy that, that they're just, you never indict a sitting president, so he can go and just, with a getaway car, and somebody with Pence driving him to a bank, and he puts a ski mask on, and he videotapes it, and he comes out, goes in, God forbid, with a shotgun, and comes out with money, Trump, and Mike Pence just, peels out, and so then they won't indict them. They won't indict Trump because he's a sitting president. Can't indict a sitting president. You can't indict a sitting president. Everybody knows that. If he commits crimes, yes, you can. Who cares about a policy? You think they cared about policy? They were frothing at the mouth. All they wanted to do for 2 years. And then you have these liberal pundits backtracking. Well, we know so much. No, we don't. The ODNI and DHS reports, and I explain in my Federalist articles below, the ODNI and DHS reports already state the same things, but 5 to 6 months prior to the actual Mueller special counsel. The Mueller report is a rehash of the ODNI and DHS reports. I talk about that in my latest Federalist article. James Clapper He told Chuck Todd in March of 2017, we have no evidence of Trump colluding with Russia. We have no evidence at all. They didn't even have evidence of why Russia would want Trump. Vladimir Putin met with Bill Clinton. This is a fact, according to the New York Times, at his home outside Moscow. Do you think they have closer ties to the Clintons or to Trump? Everything is conjecture with Trump. Well, he's really leveraged by, the Russians. It's like, look, the Cold War is over. It's not working. Nobody buys this anymore. Not that, and the day that a special counsel took place, below in the pinned comment, just like I said Clinton would lose, I said this is a bunch of nonsense. And she's running again, and when she runs, it will basically everyone will see plain as day, clear sight. All of this was to level the playing field. All of this was a scorched earth policy to just break the will of the average person and say, fine, Clinton. We have a great economy. We have a very good foreign policy. Sure, there are problems. There are aspects of both, foreign policy and the economy could be better, but the economy is objectively better than Obama's economy. Foreign policy is objectively better. Okay. The president does not represent the most heinous, ideologies on the planet. That's what the left has to portray Trump as, because they really have nothing to say about him. If it's just about rhetoric, like, horrific rhetoric or deeds and actions pertaining to that rhetoric, then Clinton wins that also. Clinton has said and done worse things when it comes to race and when it comes to social issues than Trump ever has. I'll debate anyone on that. We can go down the list. So, DOJ threatens executive privilege over the Mueller report. Then they're going to go to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court's going to laugh at them. Look, this is fantastic, and this is Trump fighting back. And this is William Barr fighting back. And he knows exactly how to fight back. You think Sessions would have done that? Sessions would have been like, anything you want. You want you know what I'll do? Because Trump here was mean, and he tweeted a lot of mean things. I'll say that, you know what? We'll just indict Trump on obstruction of justice. Let's do it. Why not? I only recused myself from humanity. Sessions was an abomination. Please, for the love of God, don't say he did his part. Say the arsonist did his part, heaven forbid. If you're walking down the street and someone just trips you, you don't say, well, that person did his part. Or sideswipes your car or picks your pocket or whatever. Hey, that person did their part. No. They got an attorney general who spoke to Sergei Kislyak, big deal. And then he recused himself, and then got Rod Rosenstein, who was the smartest individual in all of this, because he lucked out, because he started the probe, and then William Barr and Trump needed him to just give legitimacy to the nonsense, because there was complete nonsense. Nothing was ever going to happen. And now the Democrats are melting down. What do you mean nothing happened? Oh, my God. And they realize they have nothing. They are not going to stand on a policy. They're not going to vote on Medicare for all. They're supposed to abolish ICE. AOC is every day, probably 3 to 4 hours on Twitter. No doubt. She promised to abolish ICE. That's not happening. Where's the legislation to abolish ICE? Oh, that's right. It was just to deceive impressionable young voters. Oh, gotcha. Okay. $15 minimum wage? Why? It's the best thing. Just push it through the House. No? Okay, you lied about that. Green New Deal legislation. That was interesting, too. But she didn't even run on climate change. Then they pulled the switcheroony. And then suddenly she's like, not only am I going to talk about climate change, which I never talked about, I talked about Medicare for all, but it's not even going to be legislation. It will be a resolution that is supposed to make you all look forward to the future. The AFL-CIO is against it. And the only thing she's known for is ensuring that 107,000 direct and indirect jobs, don't just say 25,000 Amazon jobs. The headquarters was supposed to be for 40,000 people, like soon after the 25,000 people. And the economic activity would put 107,000 direct and indirect jobs in play. You would have, an economy is like an ecosystem, a whole bunch of things, food trucks, dry cleaners, shoe repair, whatever. Cell phone, places to fix your cell phone, whatever. Restaurants, janitorial services, window washing services. It would be, but thank God it didn't work out because AOC's like, the Congress, like, we're going to take it. Yeah, take it to the man. Yeah, we showed them. Stupid generating wealth, making sure people are employed. Yeah, it's all about the tax revenue. And even the the Democratic, it was like Cuomo's study that said it would be like $27 billion in taxes. But it's like, even if it was zero in taxes, you would still get people. 107,000 direct and indirect jobs, this is according to USA Today, that these people would have paid taxes too. But it's like, doesn't function. Not working. He's fighting back. Trump's fighting back. And what are they going to do? They're going to go to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court's going to laugh. It's a conservative Supreme Court. The Senate is a Republican Senate. And the House is just like, you better listen to us. Well, and William Barr's like, I'll willing to testify, just not to your stupid lawyers. Well, you know what? You better testify to our lawyers too. It's like they don't want William Barr to testify. They want to make it so he just doesn't, he doesn't succumb to the abusive procedural, speak to our committee counsel, which hardly ever happens. They're unhappy that they couldn't find Trump working with Russia. They're unhappy that the obstruction thing, Mueller's like, there's nothing there. But, gosh, it's very difficult, He's the president. He's really the president, It's just so difficult to indict. Well, then why did you investigate for 2 years? What did you think was going to happen when you found possible criminal behavior? So, it's all political theater. And it still doesn't work for Democrats. It's not working. It's not working. Give me your thoughts below. Go ahead and hold Barr in contempt, and the president will invoke executive privilege. It'll go to the Supreme Court, and they'll get swatted and blocked again. And that's it. It goes to the Supreme Court. What do you think the Supreme Court's going to say? Oh, yeah, Barr should be held in contempt because he offered to testify, but just not to committee counsel, which he has no reason to speak to. Of course, the Supreme Court's going to say, wait, there's 2 years of an investigation, no collusion, and all the evidence is linked to Clinton? Yeah. You think Kavanaugh, by the way, is going to be like, gosh, Clinton's such a wonderful person. All of this comes back. All this comes back to Clinton. It always does. And when she runs, you will see that I have been right in my political philosophy since 2015. Hit subscribe. Thank you. By the way, check out Nick DiPaolo. He is hilarious, and he's a great voice politically. He's below. His link is below in the pinned comment and also the description. Get into 100,000 subs real soon. Get into 1 million. He's amazing. President Trump really needs to retweet Nick DiPaolo. He's awesome. My Patreon is below if you want to support my voice long term. It's in the pinned comment. Check out my writing in the Federalist. Thank you so very, very much.